Hello guys, welcome back to the AWS question series. Let me ask you one question. Your company has 7 TB of financial trading records that need to be stored for 7 years by law. Experience has shown that any record more than a year old is unlikely to be accessed. So which of the following storage plans meets these needs in the most cost efficient manner? So the question tells that okay, we have 17 TB of data and it contains financial trading records. Okay, that means it's important. Okay, we cannot lose it after 1 year also. So for faster read operation for the first 1 year, and after 1 year we should move those data to some cold storage. Okay, so that's the mindset that we should have while designing our application, right? So what is the best infra that we should use from AWS? We should use simple storage service, which is also called S3, for the first year of data. Okay, but after that, the beauty about using S3 is you don't have to change the code. Okay, once you create your S3 object, you can create some policy saying that after 1 year, change these S3 objects to a different object, different class of object. For example, it can be classified as Amazon Glacier objects after 1 year. So that kind of policy we can set. Okay, Amazon S3 is highly durable, highly scalable, eventual consistent system which is optimized for faster reads. Okay, Amazon S3 is again object storage, which is very different from file storage or the block storage that we know of. Amazon provides API interface to access these S3 objects, so which internally uses actually REST HTTP verbs to access all these S3 objects. And these S3 objects are actually placed inside buckets. Okay, so which is bucket is nothing but you can say that bucket is analogous to folder. Okay, but for S3 it is a little different. Bucket names must be unique for all the accounts. Okay, so that means bucket names are actually global. Okay, but when you create a bucket, it actually gets created in a region. Bucket names can contain 63 lowercase letters, so capital letters are not, uppercase letters are not allowed. A bucket can contain infinite number of objects. Okay, objects are nothing but again files, you can say. Okay, so objects reside inside the buckets, which are the container for all these objects, and object name can be of 1024 characters long. You can actually update the file, you can increment a file, but objects are not like that. Either you create, or when you update also the full objects gets updated. Okay, so that's the difference between S3 objects versus a file. They can contain characters, numbers, dot, slash and backslash. Let's say there is a bucket called my bucket, and let's say the object name, object key is I/m/interview.dot. Then you will be accessing this by doing a get request to this particular URL. Okay, yeah, because the objects live in the internet, that's why this naming convention is like that. Object can be uniquely referred by bucket and the key and an optional version ID. So these objects actually comprises of two different kind of data. One is metadata and the real data, and the data can be anything. It can be any file. Okay, it can be any type of information that you want to keep. You can keep it inside the object, and that size of the object can 5 TB. Inside a bucket you can save infinite number of objects. Okay, and they are automatically replicated to different zones also inside a region. So you don't have to, let's say you want to build a system where there are a lot of pictures you have to save, there are a lot of videos you have to save, then S3 is the go-to solution because of the fact that you can access these uniquely identifiable objects through REST-based APIs. It is very easy to load balance them also. So let's say you are asked to design a system where you want to save the pictures, the images, videos. You have to allow millions of users to access them. Then how will you design it? You can create two different buckets. One is images, another is videos. Okay, and inside the images you create all the objects. Okay, image objects, put them inside the image buckets, and all the videos objects inside the videos. You can write a small router, or maybe you don't need a router actually. As I said, each object can be accessed by using the bucket and the unique object key, right? So you can actually form URL. You can share those URL links in the website directly. Okay, you don't have to write any extra router, okay, to route the users to, you know, image folder or video folder, or, you know, downloading that. So it is automatically done for you. Okay, so yeah, so I hope that you learned something today, right, about buckets, about S3 objects, simple storage service, and why it is so easy, why it can be helpful for us for system design interviews. Stay tuned, I will be sharing more and more questions from AWS world in my upcoming videos. Okay, so thanks for watching guys, and see you next time.